Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night. I'm not sure when you're watching this video, but I'm not sure if you remember quite a while ago, if you've been familiar with this channel, I mentioned that I've got some CPUs that need testing. They're the Ryzen 4000 series CPUs. Now the 5000 has been released. Everyone thought that AMD actually skipped the 4000 series CPUs, but that is not true. I've got three 4000 series CPUs. Let me show you. So what we're going to do in this video is actually test these CPUs. I was waiting for something for a few weeks, which should have been here much faster, but because of all the shipping delays in the world, it took a lot longer. But check this out. This is Ryzen 3, 4350G, extremely rare processor. This is Ryzen 7 4750G, and this is Ryzen 5 4650G processor. All of these are extremely rare processor. Now you just Google them and see that you can't find them anywhere. I think there might be like one shop in Australia that sells it, or New Zealand, but nowhere in the world. So hence, that's what we're doing today, and we're gonna test them.
If you're looking for a cheap Windows 10 OEM license, then look no further. Bobkeys.com is a website where you can purchase all sorts of keys and licenses for very affordable prices. With a Tech Notice discount, you'll be able to get the Windows 10 Pro license 25% off. To purchase the license, click on the link in the description or search for Windows 10 license on Bobkeys.com. Then add the product to the cart and press proceed checkout. Remember to add the 25% discount code and complete the order. Once you have the license key, click here, paste in the license, and you're all done. Check out bobkeys.com in the description below.
So inside here is something that is called Open Test Bench. So I am very curious to see what it looks like. Basically, the idea for this is that you can build your PC system not inside the case, but in an open case, and then it's much easier to test the product. Oh, look at this. Oh, okay, there is a nice little case that comes with it. So look at that. Believe it or not, the whole test bench goes inside this case. So let me show you. Open bench table. Look at that. What is this? So it's basically this piece of metal, right? And then you can make your PC on top of here. Is that exciting? So I'm gonna figure out now how does this exactly work, and then we can actually build our system on top of here and start testing these CPUs. And this is what all of this video is about. So the motherboard we're using for this testing is X570 by Asus TUF Gaming. Asus TUF Gaming X70 Plus motherboard over here. And the cool thing is, this is now laid up over here. It's got little feet over here. We're gonna put all of these little standoffs and all. I'm gonna figure out where these go on the top over here, and then the motherboard goes on here. Then we can build this over here. Let me go over quickly the parts that we're using. The motherboard, the CPUs, we're going to use the Sabrent Rocket NVMe 256 gigabytes SSD for the boot drive. This Corsair RM850 for the power supply. And then we have something here called the thermal pad. So basically with this, we can make sure that the thermal solution between the CPU and the cooler, whether we're using the original cooler that came in the box. This is the original box that it comes with. They're just random, I think, Wraith coolers inside there. One of them is different, so I don't know why. Then we're going to use this thermal pad so that everything will be equal, so there's not too much or bad thermal paste on each of them. As well as that, we have a Noctua NHU14S cooler here as well, so we're going to test it with this third-party cooler over here. So let's build the system, and then we can figure out where do we go next. I know that I have one thing missing. The good thing is, well, usually what you do is you have a much better motherboard to test with the system, the motherboard that already has a power button on it. Because I don't have it, I bought an extra one, like an extra little power button, just like a 2-switch plug. I know you should be able to do it with even just with like a screwdriver or something, but I don't feel comfortable doing that, so I bought that extra. That's coming tomorrow, so I'm gonna keep continuing over there. But let's build this system then. Because our processors actually have a graphics card built in, that means that we don't actually need a graphics card to test this system. So there is no GPU that we're actually testing with it, but just these over here, as you can see, Ryzen 3. Oh, also RAM. For the RAM, we're using T-Force or Team Group RAM. We have a T-Force Dark Z Alpha memory. This one over here is 3600 megahertz. There's 2 kits over here, 16 gigabytes and 16 gigabytes, because we're going to test these processors in a creative application, so I want to make sure that there's enough memory over there. I know this is dual channel, so we're going to use 2 times of these memory kits. Okay, so that is odd. So let me show you this. Put that back. Just picking up the first CPU. There's supposed to be like brand new CPUs, but I can easily see that there is already some thermal paste has been applied on the side over here. So it's not like the best. I'm not sure if it's like when they sanded it off on the sides or something, but there's definitely something being on it. So very interesting. Anyway. Our CPU has been installed, as well as our RAM has been installed. Look at this RAM. Beautiful. Thanks Team Force for sending me this RAM. If you want to check this out, the link for this is in the description. What an awesome looking black memory. No RGB, just looks meaty or beastie. Fantastic. So this is 3600 megahertz, like I said before, which we're gonna try to utilize all of this. 32 gigabytes, that should be enough. So next up, we're gonna have to put our SSD in here. I've already put our little standoff over here, put our SSD in. Where is it now? Did I put it away? Yeah. So our SSD, and yeah, let's go. Now the last thing that I want to check is what's the cooler like that came within the box of our CPU. The interesting thing is our cooler is a very, very basic, I think it's Spire or Wraith cooler. So very, very thin over here to cool this processor. But this is not a very powerful processor. This is a 60 watt TDP processor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rub off this paste over here. And then we're going to put thermal pad over there. And then we're going to put it over there. I just changed my mind. I'm not going to put the stock cooler on first. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the Noctua cooler on first, because these like little ends over here, they're sharp, and I don't want to wreck our thermal pad with this cooler over here. That means I know that Noctua isn't, so I'm going to try it with the Noctua first, so we know that our CPU is not getting any bottlenecks, and then later on we're going to try it with a stock cooler, see if it's any different results we're getting. Before we're going to put the Noctua cooler in, we're going to actually put it on the test bench, because the Noctua cooler, it's better to put it on the test bench afterwards. So let me just figure out that I'm doing it the right way and not the wrong way. So check this out. So we have our motherboard on now on these little standoffs. So that is good. It's not like, on this there. And the cool thing is there's like these nubbin kind of standoffs, which means that these kind of, when you press down, these will hold the motherboard in place. And then you have these like little thumb screws that you can use for the motherboard. So I put these in the corners here, 3 corners, because that's the easiest to put in here. I don't actually need a screw over there, but then these thumb ones are absolutely awesome. Install our Noctua cooler, and then we're all done. Power supply is underneath over there. Put the power supply cables through as well, and then yeah, that's then all done. So the only two power cables we actually need here is the motherboard power cable, which we can put over here. That's done. And then we're going to put this underneath. Can I just say how cool that RAM is again? This is so nice. Dark Z Alpha, completely like matte black. No, not quite matte black, but beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, and that's it really. Now we have to wait for my power switch cable, which actually I should be able to like just do it with a screwdriver as well, but I'm not that big of a cowboy. If I just connect them two cables there, it should actually turn on, but let's just leave it. Okay, hello my friends. Finally, I have this guy booted. As you can see, we have our tests set up over here, and we are on Windows. But the thing is, this is not the Ryzen 4000 series processor in there. It is, in fact, Ryzen 2700X. So basically, I realized that it's probably the BIOS that needs updating. So I needed a processor to update the BIOS, so I'm going to do now is update the BIOS. But because that processor doesn't have a graphics card or iGPU built in, means that I had to rip out my 2060 Super from my main PC to get this come on, so we can update the BIOS, put all the right drivers in, and then we can actually start testing these processors. Where are you? Here you are. So it is updating the BIOS at the moment, and just a parcel arrived at the moment. I'm just going to check what's inside because I don't quite know. Let's have a look. Oh, is that what I think it is? Alright, let me have a look. Is this what I think it is? Oh, it is. I can't show you this because this item is not released yet, and there is something very interesting inside. So stay tuned for this because this is exciting. I did it. This is running now here. As you can see, no graphics card. We are on Windows. Let me get this down a bit. And as you can see, if we go on Task Manager, we can see that Ryzen 3 4350G with Radeon graphics. So, let the testing begin. Okay, here's what's happening now. Doing a little stress test for the CPU. So we're running the GPU at the same time over here. GPU load 99% while absolutely burning the CPU as well over there. And as you can see, our attempts so far are looking very good. So what do we have over here? We have the package power of 71 watts. So even though it's a 65 watt TDP, I can see that if I run the GPU and the CPU at the same time, I'm able to get maybe 71 watts here coming through. And then what else do we have? We have the package, but the temps are really impressive. Look at that, 55C when both of them are absolutely, maxed out. GPU utilization 100% and CPU utilization all 100%. Pretty fantastic if you say so. So basically this is the test setup. If you want to know the test results of these three CPUs, then I recommend you subscribe or stay tuned because these are coming out very soon. So 3 CPUs, the 4-core, 6-core and 8-core CPUs that are actually 4000 series AMD CPUs. So finally we got the test bench working, and yeah, it just takes a lot of time for running these tests, running them again and again a few times so we don't know, we know that there's no faults and things like that. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Hopefully you were interested in the test setup and things like that and figuring out some of the problems and things like that. I was a bit stressed here trying to figure out what's the problem with, is it the BIOS, what is it the motherboard, broken, but motherboard is fine, and as always the problem is much more simple than you think. It just needed a BIOS update, and we did that with an old CPU, and now it's all working. So thanks guys for watching, stay tuned, and let me know in the comment section below. If you have anything to say, I'll meet you down there. Thanks for watching, bye.